Welcome Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited. I'm Nicola Barreto. Let's take a look at the headlines. Government delivers on their promise at last week's post-cabinet media briefing to have the Port of Spain Immigration Office outfitted with fixtures and fittings by Monday. The Ministry of Tourism considers incentives to persuade persons to own and operate small tourist accommodation facilities. And the Prime Minister and other world leaders attend a pre-World Cup luncheon hosted by Brazilian President for World Cup finals. Thank you for joining us. The Housing Development Corporation, the HDC, has been working effortlessly to ensure that the Immigration Division located at number 67 Frederick Street, Port of Spain, is fully outfitted with proper fixtures and fittings. Now this revelation comes from Dr. the Honorable Rudal Munilal, Minister of Housing. The Minister, along with his cabinet colleague, Senator the Honorable Gary Griffith, toured the facility on Monday.
The tour of the Immigration Division, located at number 67 Frederick Street, Port of Spain, was another step in ensuring members of the public no longer suffered from the industrial action taken by immigration officers since May this year. On the tour was Dr. the Honorable Rudal Munilal, Minister of Housing, Senator Gary Griffith, the Minister of National Security, HDC Managing Director Jerlene John, and Acting Deputy Chief Immigration Officer Charmin Gandhi Andrews. According to Minister Munilal, the group toured sections of the building which were completed by workmen over the last weekend. He said of the 26 concerns raised by immigration officers, 23 have been fixed, with the other 3 requiring another week for completion.
There are some concerns about this facility, and we sent in a team from the Ministry of Housing, which has responsibility for rental buildings and so on, the property division, to undertake some repair work and upgrade work. We are very pleased with what we have seen. A lot of work have taken place on the weekend in particular. I want to compliment Ms. Jerlene John and her team from the HDC for undertaking such a work. I mean, it ranged from ceiling fixtures, roofing problems, to simple things like bulb and lights changing and doors fixing and so on. So that a lot has been done on the weekend.
Minister Munilal says the tour is not a knee-jerk reaction to officers taking industrial action. He says his ministry has such a program in place to do upgrade to government facilities upon a request. The minister also added that should his ministry be provided with a list from the San Fernando Immigration Office, immediate efforts will be made to upgrade that facility.
This is not something unusual for us. We have a program of all ministries and divisions throughout the country, where depending on the complaints we receive, we will visit departments, not only in national security, but in all ministries, to undertake upgrade works and enhancement works through the Ministry of Housing. So that program is ongoing, but because of the problems we have had here over the last few weeks, I thought it necessary to come and take a look at the work myself. We understand in San Fernando, the workers are not at work at this time. We are hoping that good sense will prevail. If we have a list of some of the issues in San Fernando, we'll be happy to take a look to see what we can do to bring immediate relief as well.
In another week, Minister Munilal says the number 67 Frederick Street Immigration Building will be fully upgraded and ready for optimum use. Meantime, Senator the Honorable Gary Griffith, Minister of National Security, made it clear that all is being done to ensure that all the immigration offices around the country are fully outfitted with the right amenities to ensure smooth operation in the shortest possible time. He says dialogue with the Public Service Association has not stopped.
And I wish to state again, dialogue would continue, but I think it is very important we have that, because the only 2 things that matter right now is to firstly ensure that the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago have their freedom of movement, and through the use of, for them to have their passports approved, but also to look after the well-being, the health and safety of the immigration officers. It is twofold. I'm not saying that one is more important than the other, and the dialogue would continue with the PSA. And again, I wish to commend the Housing Department and Julian John and Mrs. Gandhi Andrews and also the immigration officers. We can see that right now they are working, they are trying to do as much as they can, and we will continue to do as much as we could through the proper use of through dialogue.
Felicia Wilson, More News 4.
The government is providing incentives, encouraging persons to own and operate small tourist accommodation facilities. Minister of Tourism, Senator the Honorable Gerald Hadid, explains how the incentive process will work as the government seeks to diversify the economy and further develop the tourism sector.
Tourism Minister Senator Gerald Hadid is lamenting the lack of adequate tourist accommodation in the country. This, he says, has played a key role in hindering the growth of the tourism sector. Minister Hadid explains the lack of sufficient accommodation stems from the fact that many persons wishing to enter the sector face financial barriers which dissuade them from doing so. He says it is for this reason the Small Property Upgrade Incentive Project has been developed. The project will see persons given government financing to upgrade their tourist accommodation facilities.
This subsector has been unable to access financing to consistently perform significant maintenance and refurbishment work to the accommodation product, which has resulted in the accommodation being unable to fulfill guest demands and compete effectively regionally. 3. The objective of this proposed Small Property Upgrade Incentive Project is to provide an incentive for the upgrade of the Trinidad and Tobago small properties to a first-class level to meet and exceed the Trinidad and Tobago standard requirements for tourism attractions.
The tourism minister says the incentives will take effect July 31st at an expected cost of $17.84 million. He explains there are some criteria which owners of facilities must meet to qualify for the incentives. The criteria state the tourist accommodation facilities must have less than 6 guest rooms and be operating for more than 4 years, among other requirements.
Proof of ownership of property or deed. 4. Building approvals from Tongan Country Planning Division, Ministry of Planning and Sustainable Development for all structures, extensions, or alterations to the facility, and for the change of use from single-family to multi-family resident where applicable. You must also have public liability insurance. You must have a Board of Inland Revenue tax clearance certificate, a certificate of business registration, a VAT clearance certificate. You also must be a registered member of the Small Tourism Accommodation Owners of Trinidad and Tobago or the Tobago Unique Bed and Breakfast and Self-Catering Facility Association. You must be certified registered under the Trinidad and Tobago Tourism Industry Certification Program.
Interested persons must also submit a scope of upgrade works with estimated cost, plans and timetables. He adds that these properties are also exempt from payment of the 10% hotel tax and will receive up to $75,000 in reimbursements for the cost of upgrade works done. Gregory McBurney, News 4.
News 4 continues right after the break. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. Caroni East residents received grants from the National Commission for Self-Help to assist them with minor repairs to their homes and community spaces. Chairman of the Commission, Surajdev Mangaru, was on hand to distribute the grants.
Getting that extra help to complete that home project or community center can mean a lot to many citizens who are in need. This was the feeling many constituents in the Caroni East District expressed after having found out they were selected for grants from the National Commission for Self-Help. The National Self-Help Commission offers a program called the Minor Repairs Reconstruction Grant, where assistance is provided to families who are affected by natural disasters, fire or flooding. The program also offers assistance to old-age pensioners or socially disabled persons. The assistance is provided in the form of a purchase order, whereby the building materials can be used to replace dilapidated wooden flooring boards, galvanized sheeting, wooden windows and frames, ceilings, doors and floors. In welcoming the Commission to his constituency office, MP for the area, Education Minister Dr. the Honourable Tim Gopi-Singh thanked the Commission for the outreach offered to his community.
Today it has materialized that we have been honored by the presence of the chairman of the National Self-Help Commission and his executive management team in providing the support for so many of you, your families, to the extent of a maximum of $15,000 so that you can do your repairs to your homes and what your needs can be fulfilled in some small way. And we remain committed to you to continue to work with you to see how much more we can continue to help you along the way.
Chairman of the NCSH, Surjdeo Mangaru, says the grants offered are equivalent to cash.
We have over 6,000 applications in the system right now seeking assistance. So you are very fortunate, and like I said earlier on, all this happened because of the efforts of your Member of Parliament. He's a very hard-working individual. And I would like to thank very much my acting CEO, Miss Amy Harry Paul, and members of the Board of Directors and my entire staff in putting this together. Today we are here, tomorrow we are visiting the Member of Parliament, Jairam Simmangal, and next week we are visiting another constituency. So I want you all to make full use of the grant given. We are not giving cash, we are giving a purchase order to the extent of not more than $15,000 building material. I hope you use it wisely.
From churches to homes, the grant will assist community leaders and residents seeking to improve their spaces. Many of the eager residents offered thanks for the grant they believe will assist in improving their lives.
We are using the grant to fix the ceiling of the building. Yeah.
Presently, I've been trying to improve building my house. So I'm halfway there. So this grant is a big help to me to finish it.
It's really wonderful and it's really great collecting this grant because I really need it to fix my roof in my house.
Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
In other news, the Minister of Science and Technology has restored faith in the chairman of the Board of Directors of the National Institute of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, NIHRST. Professor Prakash Prasad would once again chair the board as the state agency pursues its mandate.
The National Institute of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, known as NIHRST, welcomed a new board of directors. On Wednesday, the Ministry of Science and Technology and NIHRST hosted a special installation ceremony at which the new board members received their letters of appointment.
NIHRST is widely acknowledged throughout the world as an organizer of the longest running and the largest fair in Caribbean, SciTechnoFest. I'm convinced that under this new board and supported by the strong executive team ably led by Mrs. Maureen Mancher, NIHRST is safely on the road to many more successes.
In June, NIHRST celebrated 30 years since it was established. Its work involves research and intelligence gathering to shape science policy and guide the funding of research and development, promoting innovation and commercialization of technology in priority areas, building collaborative global relationships, and fostering a culture of science, innovation, and entrepreneurship.
It is critical that this new NIHRST board will be committed to its mandate, which is to build more diversified and knowledge-intensive economy and assist government in developing and delivering in the promise to encourage recovery, create jobs, and promote sustainable development.
The new 12-member board has as its chairman Professor Prakash Prasad and Deputy Chairman Brian Warnett.
The appointees of the board bring a unique blend of academia, business experience, community activism, and technocrats who will significantly contribute to the much-needed value-added leadership to the industry. Moreover, you have the store of knowledge, tested integrity, dynamism, and know-how to help develop Trinidad and Tobago science, technology, and the innovation sector.
Addressing his fellow board members and ministry officials, the chairman of the board of NIHRST noted that the last board worked extremely well with their ministry counterparts, and he expects the same level of commitment this time around. Professor Prasad revealed that NIHRST would soon be finished with the science policy, which would be sent to Minister Griffith for his approval. He also made comments on the proposed Science City.
The Science City, and I think this is something that's really needed in Trinidad and Tobago and in the region. And what we hope for is that 54 acres there in Couva is going to become the Silicon Valley or maybe the sugarcane valley of high-tech in Trinidad and Tobago. We want it to be a high-tech city. And the present part, the first phase of the science city has been developed, would be in that direction.
NIHURST continues to pursue its mandate to promote the development of science, technology, and higher education in Trinidad and Tobago and enhance the innovative, creative, and entrepreneurial capabilities of the general population. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
More news after this. With respect to the use of Trinidad and Tobago as part of the Caribbean Premier League CPL franchise team Red Steel's title, the Honorable Anil Roberts, Minister of Sport, releases the following statement, quote, "The name Trinidad and Tobago is reserved exclusively for citizens and nationals of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. The Trinidad and Tobago brand, as it relates to national, regional, and international sporting competition, is for the exclusive use of national governing bodies which are duly constituted and recognized by the government and people of Trinidad and Tobago as the representatives of their respective sports. The 49 national governing bodies funded by the Ministry of Sport and the Sport Company of Trinidad and Tobago select national athletes and national teams based on the fundamental criteria that all athletes are citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Therefore, with specific regard to cricket, the brand Trinidad and Tobago can only be attached to national teams duly selected by the Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board. The CPL, as a private organization engaging in a for-profit enterprise, builds team franchises that may consist of nationals from countries across the globe based in a particular country. The CPL does not meet the criteria stated above and therefore cannot include the use of our beloved country's title to distinguish their Red Steel franchise. Nowhere in the world are sport franchises given country names. The IPL, the NBA, the EPL, the NFL, and all other franchises carry the name of city or regions. For example, Mumbai Indians, Boston Celtics, Manchester United, and New Orleans Saints. Now, if this were not so, we could possibly see James Rodriguez or Cristiano Ronaldo or Andrea Pirlo or Yaya Toure suiting up for Argentina in the World Cup finals. So the position is clear and will continue to be clear for centuries to come that the brand Trinidad and Tobago is owned by a sovereign nation and can only be attached to teams that are 100% comprised and representative citizens of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago." End quote. Now, during several meetings held with leaders of the CPL, they accepted their error in using name Trinidad and Tobago during the 2013 tournament. The CEO clearly understood the argument made by the minister and removed the name Trinidad and Tobago from all branding and signage representing the locally based franchise in the 2014 CPL. Minister Roberts wishes the owners of this private league the greatest financial success for the duration of the 2014 edition of the exciting T20 tournament. He, however, reiterates that there can be no negotiation, discussion, nor compromise on the use of the sovereign name of Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean Premier League. As we wrap up, with almost everyone still on a World Cup football high, Prime Minister the Honorable Camilo Persad Bessassa was among many dignitaries in Brazil who attended a luncheon on Sunday hosted by the Brazilian President Dilma Rousseff. The luncheon, which took place at the Palacio de Alvarado, which is the official residence of the President of Brazil, preceded the World Cup final between Germany and Argentina at the Maracana Stadium, Rio de Janeiro, where Germany defeated Argentina 1-0 in extra time to claim their fourth World Cup title. Special invitees included German Chancellor, that should be Angela Merkel, Russian President Vladimir Putin, South African President Jacob Zuma, Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister, the Honorable Gaston Brown, as well as leaders of Gabon, Hungary, and Namibia. Chancellor Merkel was in Rio de Janeiro to watch Germany take on Argentina at the Maracana Stadium, while Putin was there for the symbolic handover to Russia, which will host the 2018 tournament. Prime Minister Camilo Persad Bessassa's grandson, Christian, was also in attendance and was well received by the world leaders. The Honorable Prime Minister is expected to return to Trinidad and Tobago soon. Well, that's how we wrap up this edition of Our News 4 Report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited. Now, remember, you can view a repeat of our newscast weekdays at 6 a.m. And feel free to visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/RTV4. I'm Nicola Barreto. Thank you for joining us.